This is how loud I talk today.
That's fine. I'll speak roughly at this volume.
It seems like a good volume to talk at.
Frankly, there's not a whole lot to be excited about.
Look. No, there isn't. No, there's not.
Welcome to the special Halloween episode of Grindhouse Movie Club.
Jay, what I need from you is...
You tell me what?
Can you just do that more spookily?
Ooh, welcome.
There we go. Oh. Wow.
I'm in your house.
Jay's in your house.
If I had chains, I'd rattle them. But unfortunately, slavery has been abolished.
Why do ghosts have chains in like Charles Dickens's time? But no, I've never seen a ghost with a chain.
It's a great question. I can only assume that the Ghost of Christmas Past was in prison.
For what?
I couldn't...
A Christmas-related crime, obviously.
Yeah, for stealing presents.
Oh, nice. I love the Grinch.
Grinch didn't have change either. No, I don't know. I have no.
I don't know.
Is there something frightening about rattling metal?
Back then there was.
For them.
Not a lot of things were made out of metal. Like, ooh, whoa! Where did you get that much metal from?
Didn't Charles Dickens also do like Oliver Twist?
I don't know, but likely.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
No.
Oh
no, you can't. There's only enough soup for so many people, and you think you're just entitled to more soup than everybody else? You piece of shit.
This is an orphanage, not a factory or a restaurant.
Do you think everybody else doesn't want another fucking bowl of soup? You little piece of.
I'm sure all these kids would like a second bowl of soup, but you think you're special.
Everybody gets one soup, and then I eat the rest. That's how we keep it fair around here.
Also, it's cold.
Fucking Dickens.
Oh yeah,
Dickens. You little Charles Dickens.
Mm.
As Jay said, welcome to the Halloween episode, the Halloween viewer special.
Yeah.
We offered you a treat.
Yeah, why is it a viewer special? Well, you're just trying to move blame.
I am. Well, look, we got a list of viewer suggestions. You could go to the website. There's a little link. Suggest yours. There's a Google Doc.
Yeah.
I'm putting them in a Google Doc.
That's cool. So shout out to whoever suggested Possum.
Possum.
Because let me tell you, I hate you.
Yeah, as I was saying, we offered everyone a treat with this extra podcast.
Yep.
But what we got was tricked into watching Possum.
Well, it is Halloween then. Is that your 2 sentences or less?
No, actually, it's not.
I didn't even write any because I couldn't. Honestly.
I literally wrote them. This is the only time I've actually written them and not half-assed them on the spot. You ready?
Well, thanks, Andrew, for the music.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Thanks.
GrindhouseMovie.club.
Go there.
DarkRoseCult.com.
The special episode. Special.
You have to put special in quotes.
There's this episode, and then there's this one's
like you're describing a short bus student.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Andrew. Go to grindhousemovie.club. That's the website where you can listen to more of this.
Well, probably better episodes than this one's going to be, let me tell you.
As soon as the subject matter gets unsavory, just go listen to a different episode.
Yeah. This actually, you know what? This podcast is special because we're doing every listener a favor.
Yeah.
By telling them to never watch this and then illustrating exactly why.
Yeah, so if you thought that a movie called Possum was going to be about a possum. First of all, the word possum spelt wrong, so it couldn't be about a possum.
No, and nope. I don't know why you would expect that.
Because
in the trailer it's just a weird spider.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Look,
I did the God's honest thing.
Matter of fact, shouldn't have, because it's a super misleading trailer in that it makes the movie look halfway good.
Yeah. No. I did the honest thing. I just put the numbers in the random number generator. I generated 3 numbers.
Yep.
Then I told you the 3 movies, and then this is where we are.
I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend Mina, who I treated as an impartial third party on this, because when I was given the options, I couldn't decide between 2 of them.
You shoulda. Maybe you shoulda.
I might have just chosen this anyway.
No.
Because it was one that I hadn't heard of.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is. In hindsight, it is.
I was pretty cool with unhearing about it.
I would like... This is why people create time machines. So they can go back and unsee this.
Or they could kill the guy who made this, and I'm pretty sure starred in it, because who the fuck else would want to be in this?
That's a great question. You read that script and read the last scene in the movie on that page and go, yes, I would love to act in this. I would love to be a main character in this.
And like, for the one persons who knows what this movie is, you're sitting there being like, well, it's an art film. It's supposed to be artsy. Look, I'm the one who suggests all the movies from with all the culture, all the subtitles you got to read. This movie was junk, even with the subtitles.
The movie was junk, period. And
Junk.
You know what? If you're gonna treat it like an art film, that's fine. Enjoy maybe 20 minutes of cinematography that's somewhat impressive, and then the rest of the movie is just boring.
Look.
The rest of the movie is boring and sucks, and then it gets bad.
My fifth note: I like the way this movie looks, but
Yep.
not how it is.
Like, take your artistic. You can't just fucking fall back on that like a crutch when both of your legs are broken.
No, you're gonna be a collapsed person on the ground with no chair.
That's what this movie is. This movie's an invalid.
This chair is every time somebody yanks, or sorry, this movie is every time somebody yanks a chair out from underneath you.
Like while you're trying to sit down on it.
Yeah, and then you hit the ground, and then, oh, fuck, I feel like I just watched Possum from 2018.
Go ahead and give me your 2 sentences or less
All
for
right.
this.
Here, I got two for you, all right?
Yeah.
My first one is, if you're going to do something bad, if you're going to do bad stuff to kids, hide the leftovers better. Or simpler, just a simple one. Someone molested Eraserhead. Someone diddled Eraserhead, and this is what we got.
Someone fingered Gummo.
And if you know what Eraserhead is, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well,
No, I'm fucking sorry.
listen, David Lynch is not horrible.
It's
okay?
not something you can sit through, is
But
what he is.
Yeah, I believe you because I haven't seen it, but I believe you when you say that.
I don't know. I just couldn't sit through it.
Well,
I
Mulholland Drive isn't bad.
David, you can tell me what it is. That every day it's Friday he makes a video, or does he just make a video?
Oh,
every
I don't
day?
know. He's got dementia, so he probably doesn't know what fucking day it is anyway.
Well, either way, I only want to know the days from him. I don't need to see this.
The 2 episodes of Twin Peaks I saw weren't horrible.
Oh, I haven't
That's
seen
about
that.
it.
All I've seen is Eraserhead, and it couldn't hold my attention. This, if I wasn't having to do this, same idea.
This movie would have been turned off in 10 minutes.
I would have flipped on
Holy.
True Blue there and watched some Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Like, just fucking, it's right there on the screen. I could see it from here.
Yeah, I almost took a Chris Hansen break halfway through this.
I need 20 minutes to watch child predators get kidnapped so that I can handle one knot.
I feel so bad because
Kidnapped? I sort of meant imprisoned.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, I don't know. I honestly, I don't fucking get it.
There's
I
nothing.
feel bad. I feel bad because this is supposed to be first of all, a special.
It's supposed to be a special episode, and we chose one of the worst movies ever made.
And
I
we're not. The person who suggested this,
Yeah.
is gonna have their heart broken today.
Well, that's unfortunate because you must not have one if this is your favorite movie.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I can give you the synopsis of the whole movie in fucking like 5 seconds. It's essentially 2 sentences or less, but it's not a joke.
Oh damn!
It's just about a guy going home to confront his rapist of an uncle, and he has a puppet that he can't get rid of, and the puppet is just a representation of his childhood trauma. That's why it's a spider, and that's why everything in that fucking dirty poem that he wrote it has to do somewhat with shit that happened to him when he was a kid.
Yep,
That's it.
that's kind of
Great.
what I got too.
Thanks for couching that metaphor in watching somebody shove their dirty old man fingers down a man's throat and then asking if he can feel the boner.
Uncle Boner.
Thank you so much.
If
If you're going to have a nice, a decent looking, heavily subtextual film, probably make the non-subtext good text.
yeah, or just have all your text really easy to read, right on the top for like a nice alphabet soup.
Yeah.
You don't want the mushy. No. All right. Yeah. So
Fuck this.
yeah.
Fucking.
Up until like
It's
right
so hard to be motivated to even talk about it because it just sucks.
up until the very end, and when you see the boy alive, I thought that the puppet was parts of dead boy that he was because like he's like disposing of them in like a sewage thing.
Yeah, he keeps
burns
throwing the
part of
bag
it.
out, and he keeps throwing the puppet out, and it keeps coming back.
And and like
He's trying to shed his, like the traumatic experiences from his childhood because he's stuck at home because he's a failed child puppeteer. Now, you look at that fucking puppet and you tell me any kid would like that. It's a fucking doll's head with spider legs and they're hairy.
Yeah, he
and
really
he shoves his hand in the ass.
he got dealt a shit hand there.
Yeah,
He
so did the
certainly
puppet.
couldn't ever get another puppet.
Fuck.
No, yeah, I thought he was just like disposing of dead parts and then like, you know.
Because you never really get, like, you rarely get to see anyway what's inside the bag half the time. He's carrying around a giant doctor's bag basically the whole movie.
Yeah, the big old duffel bag full of spider.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, so he at one point he just leaves it in a field.
Yeah. He's like stuffs it into a tree.
And he keeps waking up next to it, so I'm like, oh, so he's fucking the bodies and then he's burning them. This is cool.
And I don't know what, you tell me what's metaphorical about watching 30 minutes of a guy traipse through the woods with a spider in a bag.
Not a whole lot.
No. There's nothing to unpack there.
I mean,
except for my bags when I move away from wherever the director of this movie is from.
Look, let's see. My eighth note in this is fun fact: this movie was both written and directed. It's just a fun fact. I didn't have to look at IMDb.
It was just both of those things for sure.
Yep.
There's really no question.
And you wouldn't believe that.
There were also cameras involved.
Based on the rest of this podcast, you're probably going to find that very hard to believe. But this movie, like, I started this at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It starts with a fucking poem. Great.
Yeah.
A poem at 9 a.m. That's what I want.
My first note. This is a big mistake for you, Matt. I wrote because I knew the second that the movie starts with a poem that you're going to hate it.
I wrote poem. Great.
Any poem at 9 in the morning is not worth reading.
Some duffel bag with a possum in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just like this old man who's just constantly zipping and unzipping a bag.
Yeah, and I think at this point it's all dream sequences, like, because it's locations that he ends up revisiting in real life, like the spider tree in the woods and shit.
I like that tree. That was the only.
I don't know what the fuck it is with wherever this is. What is it, Wales or something? It's at least the UK for sure.
Look, whatever happens across the pond needs to fucking stay across the pond.
Yeah, because in order to get across it, you have to cross the dumbest looking fucking bridge. The 2x6 bridge.
The crab walk bridge.
Fuck's sake.
How do you fit anybody on that thing?
No, it's for children and nothing. It's for disposing of children and nothing else. I did have that thought as well, because you see so many scenes of him trying to dispose of this fucking puppet and bag that he was having. There were kids in the bags. And then he was just chucking them into mud.
And just like Maurice is like, oh, another kid's gone, eh? Look at this newspaper I'm just gonna leave out, you dickhead.
Well, Maurice is kind of a real piece of shit.
Yeah, right up until the end where Maurice got a boner and molested this grown man, I thought Maurice was like a metaphor for like his conscience, who was just like, hey, look at this newspaper. and then his
conscience is a real asshole to him then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because he's killing kids.
Fuck.
But then it turns out no.
He's a pervy old man that you came home to live with. Like, why? And if you came all the way back home after your career failed because all you're doing is scaring children to death in libraries, why would you? If all you're doing that for is to dispose of the puppet, throw it off a building. Throw it off a building in the city and don't go home to your child molester uncle. Whose idea was that?
Sell the fucking puppet to some freak show.
Sell the puppet to Edward Gorey. Sell the puppet to Tim Burton.
Put the puppet in the goddamn...
It puts the puppet in the basket.
No. You keep that puppet to yourself with your wiener tucking self.
It puts the puppet on its skin or else it gets the uncle's hose again.
Ugh. So, here we are.
Yeah.
Let's just talk. This movie, I liked the intro sequence.
There's so little.
Great intro sequence. Really Monty Python flying circus animation. It was really cool.
It doesn't get better.
No. No, it
The
doesn't.
the only scary thing in the whole movie is the puppet, and it's not. It's just dumb. The only time it moves, you only get to see the top half of it because it's clearly somebody moving it.
It's always peeking out from around a corner.
Yeah, or coming out of the bag.
Yeah. The other, like, to be honest, the only scary part, and I even like noted it at what time it happens. The only scary part in this movie happens at 1 hour and 19 minutes and 20 seconds.
Was that when the uncle comes in with a mask?
You're goddamn right.
Yeah.
Scared the ooh.
You got a little jump out of that one.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, he's trying to put him in a bag.
Well,
How metaphorical.
As far as being startled in this movie goes, you could tell a shitty jump scare by a music sting. So if it's like really loud or if there's a scream, remember Stay Alive. But to ruin a jump scare, make the music horrible. Because there were like 2 that were supposed to be jump scares in this.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. And it's just like
right over my head.
There's just the echo of a violin in the background. Like, what are you trying to lull me to sleep?
Are you just having a sound that gradually increases and as we pan to a door or truck?
Yeah. Oh,
tilt?
yeah. How many,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know film stuff.
Oh, what's the slow zoom? What's the perspective zoom called? Is it just called that? You know when you change the depth of field so it looks like you're getting closer but you're not?
Yeah, no, it's hard stuff to really coordinate there. I call it tricky zoom.
Tricky zoom. I like that this movie essentially takes place in the woods, one house, and a series of fields, and you have no idea where any of that is.
Well,
you don't get to know where any of that is at all.
Everybody talks like the fucking Oliver Twist house.
That's true also. I like, yeah, when your movie is already thickly laden with metaphors that don't land, probably make the dialogue understandable to anyone.
You know what? Maybe.
Fucking speaking like a troll under a bridge.
If you're going to name a character...
I don't want to solve your riddles 3.
He literally was a troll under a bridge at one point.
Yeah, he chose to do that.
If you're gonna name characters in your movie, make sure you can pronounce them.
Yeah,
Maurice.
That's also true.
Hey, where's Maurice?
You can't blame a North Glasgow accent on pronouncing Maurice Morris. I'm sorry.
Jim, your fingers in my mouth, Maurice. I love it. Certainly not Maurice.
Jam those fingers right in my mouth.
The goddamn slug.
Whether I like it or not. Maurice the slug behind you on the wall.
Maurice.
Freaky stories right there.
All right.
I'd rather watch a movie about those 2.
And it's a maggot too. I'm gonna correct myself.
It's the same. It's the same.
All right. Well,
one ends up flying later.
Look, we gotta talk about this fucking movie.
Okay. I wrote so many notes trying to be like university student interpretive essay. Like, there's gonna be so many analogies and allegories in here. It's gonna be like a Dr. Seuss. All of that is useless. Every single note that I wrote trying to unpack and decipher what the movie was trying to mean is useless. There's no substance here.
You know what I wrote? Big bag on a little bed. It's the kind of bed parents will get a kid, and then CPS gets called on them
immediately. CPS gets called on the house.
It's the kind of
look at this house.
It's the kind of bed parents will get for a kid they're fostering. It's a fucking tiny bed.
A kid they're fostering for the government money.
yeah. The one they don't love but still need to have a bed for.
Because somebody's coming to visit, and it's going to be a problem otherwise.
Exactly. Huge bag.
Big old bag, yeah.
Big bag.
Not a fucking single change of clothes in that bag.
Nope,
just a spider puppet.
Yep. But they's got to have with them at all times.
Can you answer a question for me?
Probably.
The main character's name is Philip here. Can you tell me why he constantly... What did I write? Because it's fucking funny. Yeah. He's got this look on his face like he just learned that he's not a fan of black licorice by trying to eat some.
He does.
The whole movie.
The
whole movie, there's something unsavory in his mouth, and it tastes like pennies.
There's something unsavory in his mouth and his heart.
Also his brain, for fuck's sake.
You know what I wrote? Pedophile look. More than once. He just looks like a pedophile.
Especially that worm's eye shot that they keep doing, like from below. It's at like shin height, and he's looking down, and it's like, are you surveying a boy? Is that a victim that you're hovering over?
Are you planning the pocket pool move you're about to play on this train? Fucking...
Don't go up to a random kid on a train and ask him what he's drawing.
Also, don't look at kids.
Don't look at kids.
Are they your kids? Don't look at them either.
Don't look at kids like that.
Like that.
And don't talk to them.
Don't. The kids are talking about somebody who's gone missing.
Yeah.
Well, they don't say that. They're just like, the police have done this, and I don't know. My cousin's a cop, and he said this about this area. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Fucking other kids like, shut up, queer. And then
Pretty much.
You know.
I think he says something, calls him a bugger or a...
Yeah, which is just, it's the same thing.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then, so they all get up, and like he gets up too with his little bag, and he's like, "Hey, what are you drawing there, boy?"
And that kid, rightfully, runs away in fear.
The second I saw that child molester movie,
Yep.
child molester movie, he's the molester.
I mean, you're half right.
No, I think I'm full right. I think.
You think he
Look, there's a cycle, Jay. There's a cycle. Happened to him, so he
Right.
did. He put he put the boy in the box.
I don't know, man.
He
That was the
put
first time you went into that room all movie.
Yeah, all movie. Lots of shit happens in between.
Yeah.
The puppet gets
Going in?
nah. There's
I'm
a
good.
boy in there.
Yeah.
Cause like, how would the uncle see that boy, right? Like, how would the uncle know that boy had a connection to this kid or this guy?
Did he even?
I don't know.
I think he was just showing him news about shit because they have that whole drum when they burn the puppet, and he's like, I'm sorry, I had no idea that this already happened while you were younger, which is just a lie because he's the one who did it.
He absolutely is.
And you're not convincing anyone. Also, there's so much shit that there's no explanation for as well. What's up with those green balls in a jar?
Yeah, I thought you had it. I didn't.
What are those?
I honestly stopped trying to figure it out because I figured you knew.
There's nothing to figure out.
I bet there's some fun facts on IMDb.
I could almost guarantee you that it was a reward for him shutting the fuck up while he gets fingered. I can almost guarantee. That's why he almost throws up when he eats it.
Oh, Jay.
Do you want
You're
something from the jar?
right.
Do you want something from the jar?
What's in them? Same thing as used to be.
Yeah, so sleeping pills?
Oh, Jay. You're right.
Isn't that unfortunate?
I thought this was going to be a movie about a spider in a bag that this man is feeding children to.
Wouldn't that be better?
I thought he had to like kidnap kids, like it's a little shop of horrors, but it's big spider in a bag.
Nope, turns out just your regular run-of-the-mill boilerplate child rape movie.
Well, it doesn't happen in the movie, thank God.
It kind of does. It kind of does because that man is not a man in his brain. There's a boy in there.
And a spider.
And fucking, if you ever saw Silent Hill Revelations, there's this same thing, except it's mannequins, like an amalgam of 5 mannequins' arms and legs. It's the same. Great.
So, after he basically corners this boy and be like, "What are you drawing, my child? Show me your drawings." He's just walking towards this house that's like, "Oh, is this an abandoned house?" Nah, he lives here.
That's my shitty house.
He goes in there, and it's like a half-burnt house because...
well, his parents died in a fire.
Yes, sir.
I assume they left a cigarette going in bed.
Yes, sir.
This is the first movie I've watched that made smoking look gross. Like, all of the cigarettes that they smoke are hand-rolled.
I'm
with
pretty sure it's
filthy hands
weed.
covered in black iron dust.
I'm certain it's weed.
You think so?
Well, he opens that tin. And
Yeah.
It's green materials in there.
So in the UK, hand-rolling cigarettes like a big thing.
But like
A lot of people do that.
with green material?
I didn't catch that, so maybe you're right.
I'm always looking at plant material.
Yeah, I'll just get stoned and sit in my dirty house. I like that he comes home and he goes, "You know, Maurice, this place is disgusting. Let me just smoke inside it."
So, all right. We walk into this house, and first of all, I'm like, well, this is where Charlie from Willy and the Wonka factory lives.
Yeah.
This is where his family lives.
It's that
dirty,
squalid house
covered
where
in
5 family
soot.
members share one bed.
Yeah, fucking 800 smokestacks nearby, so everything has got a fine layer of black on it. And we walk in, and he goes upstairs, looks at a fucking book of drawings of spiders that he keeps in his floorboard.
Yep.
So immediately I'm like, well, I've seen this movie. I've already tried to sit through it. It's Eraserhead. They used to call this movie Eraserhead. A weirdo's doing a weird thing for a certain amount. And now he's leaving. He's going back downstairs. He came home to look at his book.
Yes.
His weirdo book, and now he's just leaving?
The whole point of the beginning of this movie is you get a series of memories that he doesn't like about himself.
Well, maybe you shouldn't live in a burnt house with your uncle.
No, that's right. You shouldn't. Get an apartment. Get a hotel room for the evening.
So he's done looking at his dirty book. He goes downstairs and says, the bag's gone. So I'm like, oh, well, obviously the spider briefcase moved.
Yeah.
Because it's a spider in there.
Right.
And then he's like, Maurice. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He named the spider Maurice. No. And then he like finds the bag in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So obviously his uncle's picked it up and looked
That's
at it. Okay, so this whole movie, I'm like, well, who's this old man? Because for a second, I'm like, oh, is this like his landlord? Because he's like, this place is disgusting. You need to do something about this. You're the landlord. I'm like, okay, well, tell him that. And then he's like, you weren't my father, Maurice.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well then who is this then?
So because I was confused by the nature of their relationship, I looked up the plot synopsis on IMDb, and I don't know who wrote it because it's fucking wrong. It says stepdad. Nope.
Yeah, so then I was like, oh, so stepdad.
Unk.
And then
I thought just caretaker.
And then at some point,
I thought like Uncle Alfred from Batman, you know?
At some point he's talking about how he was a teacher at his school. So I'm like,
Whoops.
okay, well, so he's a teacher.
Yeah.
And then he just molests him, and it's his uncle.
Yep.
Uncle Maurice with his fingers.
Uncle Dirty Maurice.
Anyway, so it was a roller coaster of me figuring out who this old man is. And then at some point I'm like, is it even an old man? It's a metaphor for his conscience. That's why it's so mean to him, because this guy's molesting kids. No, everybody's molesting kids. There isn't somebody in this film who doesn't molest kids other than the guy who tells him to stop staring at the school because he thinks he's going to molest kids.
And the kids.
There's no kids.
There's 3 kids.
Oh, yeah, those kids. Well, we don't know what they do later.
Fuck. At one point, there's no point in even going through it chronologically, because we're just going to be sitting here for 3 hours describing scenes of him walking through forests.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Every time he goes outside, he's got to go through the forest.
Yeah. There's also a fox. I don't know.
There's a fox. That's another thing that's never, ever explained. So he tells this whole fucking story that Maurice gets like a hard dick about this traumatic story this guy's got from his childhood.
About how his friends kicked a sick fox to death.
Hey, Philip, thanks for coming to visit. Could you just recount that oh so riveting yarn about children abusing an animal to death?
And he laughs like a fucking Street Fighter boss.
He's got a very odd sense of humor, Maurice.
Yeah.
He finds the weirdest things funny, like touching
pressing
kids.
zipper.
He's pressing.
Fucking dead fox. So this whole movie, they just keep bringing up fox. At some point during the beginning, he's like throws the spider. You see him unzip the bag and like arm full of and just spider legs spilling out. Like, how big is this? And he throws it in the burn barrel. And I'm like, well,
that's it. It's over.
So it's a dead spider. He's probably got more spiders then.
Is it the end credits?
And then there's just like
the spider's gone.
There's like a fox looking at him. It's like, I don't know. Should I call the cops? What the fuck is this?
So originally I had thought that, like every time he tried to get rid of the spider, he was trying to, what I had written was, that's him trying to shed the memories of his past. But that's giving this movie too much fucking credit.
Yeah, no, I also wrote that I think he's trying to get rid of his sexual desire for boys.
Yeah, boys!
boys! I was like, he's just like, I gotta not want to kill and molest kids so much.
He goes down a flight of stairs at one point and he passes some kids and they go, "Is that you, pervert?" And then he just turns around and stares at them like a pervert. So
you best believe it is.
It sure is, guys. Come here closer, please.
So you know my line of work. Yeah, I'm the pervert. This whole movie just is like leaning up to him being a pervert, and then he's not the pervert, but he is a pervert. It's never really clear if he's the pervert. Who put the boy in the box?
Fucking M. Night Shyamalan over here.
No, because M. Night would still wrap it up at the end. He'd be like, yeah, the village is actually modern time, but they don't want the kids to know.
Fucking Maurice doesn't even wrap it up.
They somehow managed to put this fucking... Shut your mouth. Oh, my God. Yeah, more poems. More poems there.
Standing and staring at an elementary school doesn't really help his whole pervert image in the community at all.
No. No, it doesn't matter whose school that used to be.
Also, yeah, like the guy comes out, oh, what are you here for? Well, this used to be my school. Cool, man. When? 40 years ago? Probably not anymore, eh? Maybe you should just go.
So here's okay, so when he's like, that used to be my school, I think, I don't know, was he a teacher as well? Because, like, he's, at some point at the beginning, Maurice is like, ha ha ha, I heard about what happened to you from my teaching colleagues.
I don't know. I have no clue what he was.
Yeah, I don't.
Aside from molested and then a puppeteer.
And then a molesting, because who's a puppeteer and not a molester?
That's the Pied Piper of trades.
Even at some point, Maurice busts out a puppet, and he's like, look, I got
one too. It runs in the family. So you know what? You're 100% right. Just that line alone. You know what else runs in the family? Touching kids.
Oh, yeah. And then Maurice is like, here's my puppet.
Yeah,
See how my puppet's just as bad as yours, but a little creepier?
Also, the other thing that Maurice says that totally indicates that Philip is also touching kids is that he's like, it's a real shame that you're gonna destroy the puppet because it was the one thing that you were ever good at.
He wanted
sticking your fist into a small hole,
and he really wanted to see how the legs worked.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that means.
No clue.
He's like, yeah, show me a demonstration of this puppet.
How come when he shoves his filthy fingers into Philip's mouth, they somehow elongate? It looks like he's got fucking arachnodactyli, like the fucking mama actor.
Because
Doug Jones.
Maybe he's got dick fingers.
He's got, well, I mean,
dick fingers. So yeah, we get a shot.
Every time he tries to throw the puppet away, he ends up having some kind of panic attack. Right?
I think he falls in the mud.
He just lays there in it,
and then he like sifts through the water as if the water's up to his ankles.
Yeah,
and he's looking for a goddamn duffel bag.
Yep, a fucking rucksack.
Like,
a military fucking, whatever they call it. Probably just duffel bag.
Like doctors keeping medicines in this kind of bag.
Yep.
Where is it?
Plague doctors.
Look around. Look.
It's not going to float down the creek.
It's certainly not sinking.
No, you had to put bricks in it to get it to do that.
Ugh. Anyway, yeah, he keeps waking up next to this fucking spider
and kicking it out like a mistake from the night previous.
The first time he does it, he like shoves it out, and all you see is like kind of a rib cage. You're like, oh, and I was like, oh, a dead body from the child's dead body. He's having a sexual relationship with. No, he's probably
I wouldn't call it a relationship.
He's just fucking a puppet.
You know, one wonders if he fucks the puppet.
He keeps getting his face real close to it as well, and then I wrote Eskimo kisses for the spider.
He keeps saying to Maurice, "It's my house."
I think
who cares? Maurice lives there. If you're not going to kick him out, it doesn't matter whose house it is.
Also, not a great house. Let him have it.
Yeah, you got a torched bedroom on the main floor.
Finish the
Your
job.
property value is so low.
Yeah, how is there any structural? How are you allowed in there?
And you're like burning shit in the backyard every day.
Somebody,
this is condemned.
Yeah. At some point, Maurice sits there with an unlit cigarette in his mouth until Philip comes over and lights it.
Not only that, but he fucking sticks it out like he's smiling like a donut to get it lit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is
just like, come here and light my cigarette.
This is where, like, Maurice is like, I got a puppet, too. And it's like an awful, awful looking clown puppet.
I'm trying to remember. You remember the Steve Brule episode where Tim and Eric are they're married puppeteers?
Mm-hmm.
And just like fucking... they keep talking about how she won't bang anymore.
Yeah.
One of their puppets looks like this one, like a lot.
I don't like it.
Sometimes, you know, I just want to take a ride in the tunnel, and you're just like, nope, not allowed. Well, there's plenty of people at this studio here who have had all kinds of access. You're letting people inside your tunnel in that clown hole. No, he calls it a clam house. Even better, dude.
I gotta rewatch the show.
Well, it's better than Possum.
I'll tell you that much. Fucking.
We're halfway through my notes already.
So at this is the part where Maurice is like, you know, they're knocking down the old army barracks, and he's like, oh no, like he looks very upset to learn this.
Yeah.
So immediately he grabs his duffel bag full of spider and he's off to the barracks.
Yeah, I gotta go visit that condemned building since I live in one.
That condemned building where I know exactly where I was molested. Right here on the mattress with my old hat. Right here.
I didn't even put that together, but that's probably correct.
Well, see, because he's like, they're tearing down the barracks. And he was like, uh-oh. I was like, well, obviously there's evidence of his crime there.
Right.
But then afterwards, when he was like, that was me in the barracks the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm your Uncle Maurice. I was like,
I worked there.
I was like, that's
I've worked all over.
that's his fucking hat.
Huh. Probably a good thing for them to have closed down.
Yeah.
Those barracks.
Yeah, especially, if you're employing those kinds of people to do that kind of work there, I don't see you staying in business for very long.
It's a very niche profession.
It's not a great business plan.
No.
So yeah, he finds this fucking cadet hat, old dirty mattress, and I wrote, "Yikes! Not a good look for an abandoned building."
No, it looks like a nuclear bunker.
Yep. So then there's like an intense stare down with the puppet. And
Couple
then
of those.
he like throws it, fills it full of rocks,
Yeah.
chucks it in a sewer, in like a sewage container or something.
Yeah, there's a scene where he leaves the barracks and just beats the living shit out of it on the
Yup.
ground.
Oh my
Fucking
god!
stomps it like American History X.
Yeah, he fills it full of rocks and he jams it with a stick down to the bottom of like
It's like a water treatment facility or a reservoir or something.
It's what Ryan Dunn jumps into on Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then so now he's he comes home and Maurice, being the kind gentleman that he is, leaves this nice newspaper out to, hey, just so you know,
Yeah.
kids are being abducted.
So he throws on the television and learns that he's basically a suspect in the abduction of this child.
Yeah, there's
So naturally, I'm going to go to the school the child went to.
absolutely as you do. Yeah,
And, like, they describe all of these places where the kid was seen with an adult man in the same color raincoat that he has.
Yeah.
And so he visits all of those places.
and acts like a nut.
You know how, like, criminals go back to the scene of the crime? Like, he literally does?
Mm-hmm. So Philip hears Maurice reading his terrible poetry.
Yeah. I was originally kind of impressed with it, and then it just got worse the more you hear.
Yeah. It's creepy, but it's creepy in a way that's terrible.
Possum's here. What's in the bag? Here comes the bag. Uh-oh, balloons. I'll take my whatever award is given for good poetry now.
Pulitzer Prize for best poem.
For a
Don't
poem about every bad thing that happened to me before age 7.
Don't put your dick in the bag. There's spiders in the bag. Spiders and cum. Spiders and cum. Don't look now. You better run. So this bag he's carrying around,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if you caught it or not, but the man who molested him used that bag to shove over his head.
I thought he just wore... Oh, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because he just does it again. So
yeah,
it
he
makes
wore a
sense.
mask and put a bag over his head.
Yeah.
So that's what he did, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense then. Well, of course his terrible puppet's going to be in the terrible bag. Terribly.
This fucking... I don't know what this... Where'd you get the book from? And he goes, it fell from there. Liar! Give me that book and also a cigarette. I'll sit down right beside you now.
Yeah. Liar. I only put it in the floorboards and this house is decrepit.
So it probably did fall from there, right through a hole in the fucking drop ceiling.
Nah, Maurice just fucking skunks around your house, fucking pulling up floorboards and looking for puppet poetry about wieners.
Fuck. Okay, I got rid of that goddamn puppet. It's down there with the piss and shit from the city.
Yup.
You're not gonna see me again. And Maurice goes, well, the train line's down, so you're stuck with me, and you're gonna get stuck in.
Yeah. I don't really understand why the train line was down. It was literally just running.
Well, yeah, and then also there were trains visible.
Mm-hmm.
There were trains on the tracks.
And yeah.
I don't know why he then, like a homeless man with a bindle, decided to follow the train tracks like he would just find the train. Under an archway, like, oh, it's gonna fucking platform 9 3/4 its way out from the brick.
When you're looking for a lake, you follow the stream. What can I say? So Yeah, then this is where he goes under a bridge and like busts out his little fucking weed tin.
His weed tin with a picture of his dead parents.
Dead.
His dead parents
So
who
dead.
didn't have the common courtesy to set him up with an actual foster parent. Nah, we'll leave him with the touchy uncle.
Yeah.
We'll leave him with the lap at Thanksgiving uncle.
Absolutely we will. The fucking bonerific uncle.
Fuck's sake.
And there's a bunch of visuals of the door that he doesn't want to go into.
Yeah, loneliness and isolation. We get it. He doesn't have any friends and his family sucks.
He's
I get
walking
it.
around.
I got it the
Oh.
first 2 shots that you were trying to tell me that.
He walks a lonely road.
He does.
The only
train tracks.
road that he has ever known.
Mhm. I don't think that song is about
It
this kind of
goes.
thing, though.
But it's only him and his uncle, Maurice. Mana, mana, dirty fingers in his mouth. Mana. Yeah, I don't. I'm just trying to make this a fun movie about
It's
this
so
terrible-
hard, dude.
This,
I'm really trying here.
I'm just trying to really pep up this film
Yeah.
where the man molests a boy, and the boy molests another boy,
Yeah.
and then the boy is in a box.
The puppet is somehow back. Now, I wrote that, and then I realized that he was dreaming. And you know how I realized he was dreaming? Because there were balloons and smoke in the room.
Ah,
Anytime that you see balloons and smoke. So I can only assume that his parents died on his birthday.
they must have.
You know? Because why else do you give a shit about balloons? And they're black from smoke from the burning house. Why is the house still intact? He goes into the room and it's like tarped off. There's just like a hole in the side of the fucking... Move!
Yeah. You've got pieces of sheet metal like leaned up on your house to keep the breeze from coming in. And so his bedroom,
Yeah.
it's got wallpaper on it, but like it's kind of ripped. And
Yeah.
under that, you can see that like the wallpaper is clowns and balloons.
Yeah.
And then later, I think he's like torn it all up because the whole wall is blown. And then this is kind of like when he wakes up
Yeah.
and he's face to face with this thing that he just put in the poo pond. Like face to face, like
In the poo pond.
face to face with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where I was like, is the puppet dead bodies? Like, is it made of dead bodies? Is it all dead bodies? Is it metaphor for dead bodies?
It's just his childhood.
Maurice is burning stuff in the backyard.
Yeah.
So they chuck the puppet in
And
there.
I'm gonna fucking throw this puppet in. And this is when we have the sentimental moment between a molester and his victim.
Yep.
We're just gonna have that moment. Here's a green candy that I used to give you to shut you up. Just put that in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And why did he? Why would you let that guy get his hand that close to your mouth given what he does with them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody should call the cops.
He was even willing. You know, he shows up at the school and he's talking to the fucking chick like, yeah, I don't know why you need to take the principal with you to the police station.
Because he was he was the only person that he told about it.
Sure, but at the same time, don't bring him. He obviously doesn't like you. So is there some kind of familiarity between these two characters? That's never explained.
Also, how many years later is this?
So many
He's
years
not
later.
going to remember every kid that gets diddled by Maurice.
No. That guy, he's very prolific, this Maurice. You could tell by the yellow on his teeth. Right?
You can tell by how professionally he tagged him and bagged him.
Fucking...
God, he wasted zero time just looming out of the shadows like that.
Guy's got teeth like banana chiclets.
Yeah. I used to work at a factory that made car parts.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one gentleman who was far younger than I was.
Yep.
And his front teeth looked a little bit like this. You see that? You see that right there?
Desert sand?
Yeah. But only in a circle. And it was like the front teeth in a circle.
That's a weird one. I don't
That's
know
a
what
weird
to make
one.
of that.
I don't know what that is, but it's a lot of it. That's
I was going to be like, well, I mean, you're at a fucking auto parts factory, so chances are there's meth and heroin around.
and you know what? He stunk as though maybe I don't know if he brushed his teeth.
Well, you can't if they're that color.
Yeah, if he brushed them, you would see the paint smear. You know?
Exactly.
You don't get a nice oil base like that, and
But enough about his skin.
so yeah, this is where Maurice is like, yeah, remember I used to teach at your school.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember my old teaching colleagues? We all molested you, didn't we?
Oh, we sure did.
I assume that's what's happening.
I don't know. The conversation is supposed to be like revelatory in that, the missing kids right now, didn't that happen as well when you were young?
Yeah.
Funny thing that, Philip.
Yeah.
Funny thing that you come back and it's just happening again like that.
Yeah, said it's, they put a mask and a bag on him. Huh, interesting.
You know what else fucking happened that I just realized during that conversation?
What?
There's a part where, so he tells a story about being bullied into stuffing his face into fox guts.
Yeah.
And then during this conversation, Maurice goes, that business with the fox, remember we went into the school and I really taught them a lesson?
Oh, yeah.
So that happened with the fox, and then Maurice was just like greenlit. He's, buffet.
Why don't you invite those boys over? We'll really work them in.
Fuck.
You and I together, Maurice.
We're gonna apologize.
Or at least
make them apologize.
You're gonna work one out of them.
Work one in and out of him repeatedly.
His knuckles have never smelt clean since. Yeah, no, I didn't put that together. Also, what the fuck was, at one point he's just like, hey, you hungry? I made roast fox.
Yeah, and he goes, funny.
You know that dirty road animal? The thing that's basically a coyote? Yeah, we're having coyote.
Yeah. We're having stringy dog. We're having sinewy forest dog.
We're having furry animal.
Yeah.
Animals that furries want to be, so they take their tails and put them on butt plugs and put them up their butts.
Doesn't that sound like a good stew? I got a real gumbo going here.
Oh, we're in a real gumbo with this fucking film.
Yeah.
Really trying to paint a nice, polite, happy picture around this molestation.
What else happens?
I don't know. There's a lot of just like running around the woods and a spider coming out of the bag.
Yeah.
Which is just like, metaphors.
There's a part where fucking cops show up and shine a flashlight in the window at night, and then they just leave and nothing else happens.
Yeah, that I didn't understand. Like they're looking for him, I guess.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
so they know where he live.
They know,
rather.
And they just like, cops wouldn't just leave.
No.
They know where you're going to show up at some point. They're probably going to stake out that in shifts.
At the very least, they'll be back very shortly.
Yeah. But that's all we see. I mean, hey, you take one kid, no big deal. Take two kids, though.
Yeah.
Everybody
be back. Gets one,
We'll be back with a brighter flashlight to put through the window.
This time we're bringing a spotlight.
I don't know what he thought he was going to see shining a flashlight through a window that's got a curtain on it.
Yeah, a closed curtain. You're going to see a curtain.
Yep.
You're going to see a real dirty curtain.
That's cashmere, all right. I don't know why they hung it in this dump. Philip, we'll be back, you molester.
Oh, fuck sake.
I'm honestly, I'm going to have to brush my teeth after this. I've said the word molester too many times.
You're going to have to brush it with bleach.
It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Fucking, he talks to Maurice again, and Maurice is like, he looks through the barrel to try and find the puppet again, but it's not there. And then Maurice is like, I want to talk to you in my room, which, no.
Yeah.
Has no sound, but he goes in anyway.
We can talk here.
And he's like, cops were looking for ya.
Looking for ya?
I'm leaving, so you'll have the house to yourself. Try not to bring any kids home and fuck them.
Well,
good pep talk, Maurice.
That's literally what he says, though.
Yep.
He says, but so the way he says it wasn't how you said it, but what he says is
the tone was there.
Yeah. Yeah, something like, "Don't bring any trouble home, bloody boys."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll have the place to yourself. Don't bring any trouble home. ... Bloody kids. Wink,
yeah.
wink.
Don't bring any bloody kids home. If they're bloody, probably just leave them there.
Yeah. You bring them here and make them bloody first. That's
you make the kids bloody behind closed doors.
So yeah, Philip goes directly to his teacher and is like, "We got a rat on my uncle while he's out of town."
Yeah.
He's not out of town. He's just lurking in the shadows. He's Batman. He's the bad Batman. He does bad stuff.
The bad man.
And then, and so, yeah, the secretary's like, oh, yeah, right, I'll just go talk to this guy in this door. You stay here.
Yeah, I trust that.
Yeah, so he takes 2 steps forward to hear them being like, yeah, we'll call the police. There's a man here?
There's a man at a child's school who just showed up and said, I need to go to the police station about these missing kids.
Yeah, we'll call the police immediately.
Yep.
We're running.
We are.
It's smart.
Really interesting how he's sought in connection with a series of child abductions, but he still just goes out in broad daylight and walks around.
I also thought that also returning to the scene of the exact place where they was on the news where he was seen, you know, the crime scene.
Yep. They mentioned the barracks by name. And he's like, well, I might as well just, pay a visit.
Well, if that's where they're going to be, well, if you're going to pin me as the molester there, well, I might as well be him. And then, and like he goes there and like, yeah, the cops are there. And he hides.
Big surprise.
He hides from the cops by not looking at them.
Yeah, that's how that works.
He keeps his back to the wall and he turns his head.
It's like peekaboo.
Who's that? I can't see his face. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, I have no idea. It might just be a crackhead.
He better not look at us.
Oh, if he turns that head, he's in for a world of hurt.
Oh.
And then I don't know, half this movie, it's impossible to tell what's real and what's not, because it doesn't give you any indication of one way or the other. Sometimes you'll go, oh, he's obviously dreaming because there's balloons where there shouldn't be ever.
Yep.
Like in a dirty, burnt house. But like shit like this, where he's walking around the barracks and the spider just keeps poking its head through like the peepholes in doors that kids get locked in, probably.
That honestly, that was pretty cool. I that was like I was like, oh, all right. You're one good shot. You just earned your star right there.
Like 10-20 minutes of just seeing this upper third of a puppet.
Like it was gonna be a half a star, but then you spooked me with those puppet eyes,
poking its shitty head through dark doorways and shit.
And this is like an $8 mask from like Goodwill.
Yeah,
it's not.
And the spider arms look like fucking chimney soot. You know how like you get like a cobweb in a dirty house and it picks up the dust? That's what these fucking spider legs look like.
Yeah, it's first of all, Jay, his house burnt down, so everything's soot. He lives in soot.
Second I don't know why he's surprised that the place is disgusting.
It's fucking England.
It has been since my parents died.
Everything is covered in soot in England. That's why they have chimney sweeps.
Where's Dick Van Dyke for this house? He probably just took one look at it. It's like, no.
Dick Van Dyke was like a TV show host.
Yeah, but he was also the fucking chimney sweep in fucking...
Well, was he? Okay.
In Mary Poppins.
I don't know that shit.
Yeah. He also sings in The Rain.
The Ring?
I'm pretty sure it's Dick Van Dyke anyway. I could be dead wrong.
The Bleep Van Bleep show.
Yeah.
They're censoring TV. I'm just running through the woods. Yeah, I honestly, the spider poking around the corner, as cheesy as it looked, I was like, oh, this is kind of a saving grace. Wow.
Well, the bar is pretty low.
If the spider looked any less creepy with its eyes open, and like this would not be anything. But then, the spider.
It's barely anything.
It barely. Like I said, this earned it the star. Oh, did I just give away my rating? Because before this, it was half a star.
Yeah.
Because I had to give it something.
Yeah, you literally do have to give it something.
So yeah, the spider like poking its head in. I was like, oh, all right. There's something to look at anyway. At least we're not looking at boys in boxes yet. Well, so I mean, it's a cool spider, I guess.
Yeah. I wrote here, the problem with movies like this is that everything is so heavy-handed that it's impossible to tell, like, what's meaningful and what isn't. Like, half of these conversations between him and Maurice, once again, I was trying to find some inner, deeper meaning because it was so fucking cryptic. I felt like I was trying to decipher a fucking Da Vinci Code puzzle just to understand the two talking to each other. But no, nothing. And then, like, yeah, scenes in the woods, the fucking spider tree. Like, what do these things mean? If you're going to put a metaphor in your movie, the most important part is to have it be understandable. Instead of just a bunch of nothing put together. So that somebody looks at it and goes, oh man, this is a thick fucking movie, isn't it? This is a thick movie and it's full. It's brimming. It's overflowing, in fact.
I thought that. I was like, oh, an hour and 25 minutes? I'm going to be here all day watching this.
Yeah, it's going to give me things to think about. Like killing myself. Fuck this
lot
movie.
of inner reflection.
Blow my head off.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe the puppet's face was like, it was the mask that the child rapist and killer wore.
Yeah.
But nope. It's just a black sack with 2 eye holes cut in it, like reverse KKK. Sick.
It's something Kanye would wear.
Yeah. To like a red carpet.
Yeah.
Something Shia LaBeouf would wear to a red carpet.
Stop making it sound cool. He's a molester, Jay. So yeah, I don't know. He's home. There's just fucking more child killing poetry. Blah blah blah. We're home. We're like, Maurice, where the fuck are you, Maurice? Well, he's not home. I'm gonna go into my dead parents' room and look at some bloody sheets, I guess.
Bloody sheets and the jar of teeth I've kept. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because this is what I've pulled from my molesters or my molestees.
Those are his trophies.
Yeah.
They look like adult teeth.
Like while I'm looking at this, I'm still like, oh well, yeah, he's.
And he holds it up to the light like it's a fucking totem. Wait,
yeah.
What of what though? Because it's teeth.
Like, so I was still under the impression that he's killing and disposing of children and he's got like these bloody sheets. This is where he does his business.
Yeah.
Rips their teeth out. By the way, like by the time you're 14, you have all your adult teeth.
Fair enough. All right. Cool.
And then I was like, oh wow, here we are. Where's the ending?
Well, the ending is Maurice
hurry.
slamming him up against the wall and then throwing him to the ground and asking him if he missed his fingers.
Yeah. The second he said fingers, that's when I texted you no.
Yep.
No,
and,
Jay. No.
It's funny that you texted me that then because it did not get better after that.
No.
Quite the opposite. He had gloves on and the mask and he takes both off. I'm not going to get into the full description of this scene because I feel like the fewer people that know about it, the better.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, he didn't forget his techniques.
No. His techniques were countered. I will say that.
Yeah.
Eventually, Philip does get the upper hand.
Yeah, and he uses it to snap a neck backwards.
Not before feeling a wicked boner, I bet.
Yeah, not before Maurice gets the chance because he's being straddled to ask, do you feel that, boy?
Not only is he being straddled, but he's being choked. He's a little freaky. And that happens at about 1 hour and 19 minutes into this.
Yeah.
1 hour and 25-minute movie.
I want to point out that also Maurice asks Philip, do you want my fingers? As if he had a choice.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't matter how many times he said no because he said it a lot of times.
And he's instructed to open up.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask where.
And he just does.
Yeah, he opens up the best case scenario.
Please
be my mouth.
If fingers are going in a hole, I choose mouth or nose every time. Maurice.
It's for the best. So like, and when I say this is the scariest part, it's the scariest part because it's a jump scare. He comes out of the darkness.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep.
And after that, you're like, oh, this is not scary. It's just, this is making me feel not good about being here.
This is scary in the way I'm questioning my life choices that led me to this.
And so the whole time this is happening...
there's a chest in the corner that keeps wiggling around. Now, I thought that the puppet would be in there.
I thought the
it
puppet
would, like, bust open and the puppet would, like, save him.
I thought the puppet was going to be in there.
And, like, save him from being
Save his fucking life.
touched. Yeah.
Just scuttle towards him and just look at the fucking... It's a rubber mask. What's it going to do?
I mean, this movie, people love... You stick one of those whole spider legs into Maurice's mouth. All the way down.
That's fair, yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. Just like look at him and just get him right in the soul, you know?
You could grab him by the face like a chest burster.
That would have made a sweet ending.
It would have.
But no.
Instead of this one where he just dies instantly and then the trunk gets open and there's a boy in there and he runs away. Roll credits.
Let me just make sure you didn't miss anything. Wow, you really, you nailed the whole goddamn thing. Now we're just going to look at the spider puppet in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Cut to black.
End of movie.
Wow.
30 minutes? 30-minute podcast about this movie?
No, we're about to hit an hour. We're about
fuck.
We could
That's
really
double
drag
my
this out.
projection. Holy shit.
Oh, boy. Now, because this is a viewer special, we don't need to have any...
Right.
Nobody picked any movies, but if you wanted to watch a better spider movie, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yep.
Go watch Eight-Legged Freaks.
Go watch Arachnophobia. There's one, I think, about Black Widows, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, you know what? Just go outside. Just get some fresh air.
Touch some grass.
Go.
That's what people on Tumblr say these days.
That's what everybody's saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard it anywhere else.
Oh, it's everywhere.
You want to see these notes right here where at the bottom I wrote, what the fuck? That big. Do you want my fingers that big? And can you feel that, boy? That big.
Samesies!
I got so upset. It looks like I started writing with my right hand.
Do you want my fingers? Open up what? It's the biggest ones I wrote. His fingers are now going. Wait. So, Uncle Maurice is here with his fingers. How is this going to help? This is what I wrote.
There's nothing helpful about those. Those fingers are a hindrance.
Yeah.
Was that your notes? Because it might as well be.
It is.
I watched Eternal Sunshine last night, and I'd rather just watch that.
No.
So Possum gets a 2 out of 10 from me.
You gave it a 2.
I gave it a 2.
Now why?
Mostly because of the cinematography.
Okay.
And also, I want to point out, because I didn't mention it, but I wrote it down. What fucking Babadook rip-off ass book did he write?
Right?
This is the fucking Babadook, but worse.
Did he write the book with soot? Did he use a
couldn't
chimney
afford a
sweep's
pencil.
tool?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He just ran his finger along his own wall, and that's how he drew spiders in a book.
Oh God, I gave it a 1, half for the cinematography, and because I had to give it something.
Yeah.
And the other half was for that puppet poking around the corner.
I gave it a 2 because it looked nice. That's really all.
Hey.
It's the only redeeming quality is that those moors, they were scenic.
Oh
There
yeah.
were some scenic moors
Look,
and dirty sewers.
If there's one thing England has,
it's moors.
it's moors in which to kill children.
That's right.
Ask
any movie it's set in, like The Woman in Black. That's all it's about.
Those 2 people who killed those children in the moor.
Yeah.
That happened for real. You should.
It did.
Look up. I don't know.
It sure did. They also recorded it.
Yeah, they had names. I don't
remember them.
There's probably 1,000 YouTube videos.
And the guy from One Guy One Ice Pick, the Don't Fuck with Cats guy.
Oh, I think I remember him.
He one of the like YouTube accounts that he made was named after those 2 serial killers.
Yes, that's correct.
Shout out to Luca Magnotta wherever you are.
Let's not shout him out.
I worked with a guy who lived down the street from you while you were doing all that shit.
That's not good. I don't like what you were doing to all them cats.
No, it's mean.
I didn't care so much for what you did to the person either, but I was more concerned about the cats.
I will admit that I was more perturbed by the cats.
We got a lot of people, a lot of briefcases, but those cats.
Yeah.
That's not a way to use one of those vacuum sealers.
No, or a broom.
Well, bad guy.
Grindhouse Movie Club, guys, happy Halloween.
Happy
Do yourself
Halloween.
a favor and watch something better than this.
We just ruined your Halloween by saying the word molest 1,000 times.
So many times.
You hoped for a treat, but you got fucking tricked.
You sure did.
But you didn't
tricked in the dick.
That's what it feels like, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's what it felt like for Philip.
A trick kick in the dick?
That's what it felt like for all those kids, probably.
Moment of silence. Yeah, happy Halloween, I guess. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
I want to forget all of this.